YTBC, what's the deal? Well, tomorrow night, Luis Ortiz versus Bryant Jennings. When I break these fighters down and I go look at their fights and I go watch past fights, even the Luis Ortiz with blonde hair, even when I go back and watch all the fights, man, even, what was that 2013 or 2000, I believe 2013, when Jennings fought Fedosov, and on the broadcast they were saying that Jennings was the best U.S. heavyweight at the time. So even when I go back and watch all the fights, man, it almost, just when you break down the fights and you break down their skill set, the footwork, the power punching, because it is the heavyweight division and power punching does mean a lot in the division. When you break it down, doesn't mean everything, but it means a lot. When you break it down, it damn near almost seemed like this is a mismatch in favor of Luis Ortiz. And no disrespect to Bryant Jennings, man. I mean, he's fought some top guys in today's climate. Vladimir Klitschko, which is creme de la creme. He lost to him. And in that, my post-fight vid, I said Vladimir Klitschko looked very haggard in that fight. So it kind of almost set up that Tyson Fury loss. That's a different story, different video. But he beat Perez. Close. That was close. Spilka and then Fedosov. So, and in that Fedosov fight, that was kind of a struggle for him. That wasn't an easy fight. It got stopped on cuts, but it wasn't an easy fight, man. Fedosov had his moments in that fight. That fight's on YouTube. The Spilka fight was a good, entertaining fight. Jennings showed some power in that fight. Perez was kind of, didn't seem like either one of them, took the initiative to really just dominate the fight, man. It was lulls in action, But then when you look at these guys' makeup, Luis is 6'4", Jennings is 6'3". Ortiz weighed in at 239. His previous fight against Matisse Vidando on a Triple G undercard, when he knocked Vidando face first, he weighed in at 237.5 for that fight. The Byron Poli fight, he was 230.5. The Latif Coyote fight, he was 233, which they ended up, changing on him. Tested positive. And the Monty Barrett fight, he was 233. So 239 is okay. I mean, he's 6'4", man. It's not like he's 5'10". I mean, he is 6'4", big guy, but he has an 84-inch reach. Jennings isn't a small guy, man. Like I said, 6'3". He weighed in at 229.5 today, and he has an 84-inch reach. Now, Luis's reach is way different than Jennings, because Jennings like to keep a high guard and walk guys down with high guards at times. Now he has John David Jackson in his corner. Maybe he's going to show him some new things. You got to learn something from Jackson, man. Former champion. He's with Kovalev. I mean, you got to learn something from Jackson. So Jennings is battle tested as far as the guys he has fought. You can argue that his last, including Ortiz, his last 5 fights trumps Ortiz. You can say that. Barrett, Coyote, Poli, Vidando, and then Jennings has Vladimir, Perez, Spilka, and Fedosov. You could say Jennings has a better resume. But with that said, I think Ortiz has the, more pedigree with the amateur background. He's skilled. I mean, I've seen him land that, what was that, the Monty Barrett fight? No, it was the Latif Coyote fight, where he did like a pull where he went back on his back foot, through like a glancing left hand, not no power on it, but just to set Coyote up for that right uppercut. It was like a right hook, like a hybrid of a hook and uppercut. Pow, landed on him, knock Coyote down. He's real tricky, man. He's a big cat in there, man. So unless he gets hit on the chin, Jennings finds some power, like he did in the Spilka fight when he landed the big hook. Maybe he finds something like that and he can land on Ortiz, but I think Ortiz is big, he's mean, he's strong. He may be only 10 pounds heavier than Jennings, but he carries a wallop, man. He carries a big punch. I think he is going to control the distance. And if Jennings try to walk Ortiz down, it's going to be the wrong thing to do, to follow a power punch like that. He was able to follow Vladimir around, but like I told you, Vladimir looked very haggard in that fight. Vladimir, for whatever reason, is, the one punch hold tactic that he likes to use. he could have sat down and really buzzed Jennings. Jennings did take some shots in that fight, so you figure, well, shit, if Jennings can take Vladimir's shot, he can take Ortiz's shot. True, if he sees it coming, but he's not going to see some of these punches coming because Ortiz is a tricky puncher. He mixes up his punch variation, whereas Vlad depends mostly on that jab and straight right hand. Although Vladimir does have a very good left hook off his jab. Ortiz, he's going to look for the big straight left hand, but he can mix up that right hook. He has good footwork. It almost seems like a mismatch, man, but you can't count Jennings out. I mean, he is battle tested, you know, and he has proved that he can pull out fights against top opposition, but nobody, to me, that he's fought rivals Ortiz's style. You know, Vladimir Klitschko has the better resume, you know, is the greater fighter, but the style right now, what I see of Ortiz, his style is better than Vladimir's right now, as far as initiating the fight and controlling the fight. I believe Ortiz's style is superior to what I've seen of Vladimir, like the Tyson Fury and the Jennings fight. I think Vladimir looked all that great in those fights, you know. So I'm not trying to make Ortiz out to be a world beater, but a guy that's light on his feet, power, boxing pedigree, can move his head. He seems to have a decent chin, although he hasn't got hit with nothing big against a power puncher. He isn't a young guy, you know, like I said, the top. But then again, I believe he's 36 years old, 37, 36. But then again, like I told you, no, I believe he's 34. I believe he's 34 years old. Let me check. But like I told you, if you go to BoxRec's top 20, 10 of the guys are 34 years or older, you know. So yeah, Luis Ortiz is 36 years old. Both these guys are ranked in the top. They're top 20 fighters according to BoxRec. This is for Ortiz's interim championship WBA, but I'm not really recognizing it. All that means is he's the glorified number 2 contender by the WBA. Number 1 would be Ruslan Chagayev, and then the champion Tyson Fury. I'm gonna go with Luis Ortiz to win this fight, man. Maybe I'm not giving Jennings enough respect, but I do respect him as a fighter, as a late bloomer, you know, coming into the sport late and, you know, and trying to take the Ron Lyle approach, you know. But I see Ortiz as just, I believe he's a different pedigree of fighter, although it is questionable because he hasn't fought the level of opposition as Jennings. That we cannot just look over, you know. But skill for what I see and where they're headed in their career, the way Jennings fight, their style, the way I think it meshes, I believe Ortiz wins this fight. I don't think he'll go out there and blow Jennings out. I believe Jennings has I think his chin is durable. I think he has a durable chin because the fight, the level guys he's fought, and to not get, you know, knocked out or get hurt, you know, or get knocked down multiple times, you got to look at that, you know, and take that in consideration. But I'm going to go with Luis Ortiz. I think he's the better fighter with the eye test. But we'll see tomorrow night. But I'm going with Luis Ortiz to win this by unanimous decision. I'm going to go 117-111. YTBC. I'm out.